Welcome to a new episode of the CAP Podcast, Consumer Ammunition Tactics Podcast. We got a special guest on this episode. I got a young entrepreneur, Iyana. I'm going to read her bio, and we're going to get straight into it. So Iyana Young, she's a 23-year-old young and motivated serial entrepreneur. So she's doing a lot. Her journey started 2.5 years ago when she quit her job working for Chase Bank, and she started her own credit business, where she teaches the importance and power of credit. And she also helps people build and repair their own credit. She was able to leverage the cash flow from that business and invest it into 3 short-term rental properties where she was able to make $54,000 in just half a year. Yes. Now she takes all of her experiences and knowledge and teaches whomever she comes in contact with how they can do it too. Welcome to the podcast, Iyana. How you doing?
Hi, how are you? I'm great.
Good. So you got a lot going on over there, 23, serial entrepreneur.
Yes.
Credit is obviously important. Before we even get into like the Airbnb, the credit, all that, can you tell us like who is Iyana? Maybe your upbringing, all that.
Okay. All right. So Iyana has an interesting backstory. So my mom, she had me at 16 years old. Mm-hmm. And since 16, it was just me and my mom. We've lived in shelters. I've literally watched my mom struggle and work hard all her entire life to get where she's at. And she's not even where she wants to be, but statistically, she's not even supposed to be where she's at. And her daughter is damn sure not supposed to be where she's at. So, all my life watching my mom work as hard as she did. And I always tell people, like, I always knew that we didn't have a lot of money, but I never really knew what I was missing out on. Mm. And that's a good and bad thing. Good as a child, because I knew we didn't have a lot of money, but my mom always made it happen. And then as an adult, I'm experiencing new things. I'm learning new things. Like, wow, my mom had none of this knowledge, and none of this knowledge was taught to me as a child. And it's so crazy how much, in hindsight, I think I actually did miss out on. So, but I would never regret it, because that really made me who I am. It drives the hustle in me. It drives the ambition in me. Most 23-year-olds you meet are most definitely not in the position I'm in, and that's not because of luck. It's just hard work and dedication. So, definitely shout out to my moms.
Yeah. Are you an only child, or?
I am not. So my mom actually has another child. My brother, he is 7 years younger than me. That's my little boy. That's my little bro. So just him. And then on my father's side, I have lots of siblings. Papa was a Rolling Stone. Lots of siblings over there.
Okay. Are you from New York, or?
I'm from Jersey. I'm from New Jersey. And
I knew I heard that accent. So I knew I heard something. Okay.
I'm from Jersey. I just moved down to Charlotte. Literally in September. So 2 months ago, I just moved down here.
Oh, bet. Okay. So how did you actually get into credit? Because you're saying that, your mom had all these struggles and things like that. So
right. I was never taught about it. I never knew about credit at all. I never knew the importance of credit. And I honestly didn't learn probably until I turned about 18. And that's because I was hired at Citibank. And I was a teller there for 2 years. But the type of person I am, like, I'm going to take every situation and learn from it, So just being a teller, I learned ton of information. I would meet clients with these large equity lines of credit and things like that. And I'm like, and they're living off of these equity lines of credit. I'm talking $750,000 lines of credit. Yeah. And I'm like, what the hell? And I'm a very people's person. So, I could easily ask my customers how you do this, or speak to them without them feeling offended. Like, y'all in my business. No, I'm a very people's person. So they would open up to me. And I'm telling you, I met millionaires. I worked at Chase for 2 years. I worked at Citibank for 2 years, and then Chase for a year. Mm-hmm. And within that 3-year period, I met millionaires. Like, it's one thing to see and hear about people with millions of dollars, but it's another thing to have them in front of you when you're looking in their bank account and $2.5 million, $3 million is sitting in the account. Mm-hmm. And that was like a big thing to me, because it's like, wow, like these people are not just, figments of my imagination or people you hear about in movies or celebrities. These are everyday people walking around with millions of dollars in their account and $500,000 in lines of credit. Uh-huh. So from me seeing that, I would ask questions. I would talk to them. I'm like, how y'all do this? Come on, give girl some, and they would honestly be open with me and tell me, like, these are the things you have to do. These are the steps that you need to take. You know what I'm saying? Like so you just start out with this line of credit, then move on to that. And then these are the banks you need to, like, they really broke it down to me. And I'm talking lots and lots of customers. So from then it was like, I learned so much. I started repairing my own credit. For me, it wasn't even repairing. I luckily, I learned so young that when I started building my credit, I learned, or I was 18 when you're legally allowed to build credit.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was working at the bank, so I really never had a chance to mess up my credit, thankfully. I never had a chance to mess up my credit. So from then, it just started as building and building on it and building on it and building on it. So I'm 23 with a 750 credit score. And doing so, I was like, okay, now let me work on maybe trying to help other people do the same thing or repair. And I got into that. And then I went and got certified. I got board certified because one thing about me, it's one thing to say you know what you're doing, but I want to know. I want to really know what I'm doing. So I went and got board certified, and then I took like credit repair courses. I took classes and stuff just to like really perfect my craft, and I started doing it. And it took off. Like within the first 6 months, I was able to quit Chase. And in doing so, I quit Chase, and I never looked back at working a job. I started doing that. And one thing about me, like when I'm making money, I need to figure out the next thing to do with it. So from then I started to invest into my properties. And that's what I've been doing for the past 6 months, having my properties. So now I have my business, my properties, and yeah.
We're going to get into the Airbnb in a little bit. We're going a little bit too fast.
Yes. Right, sorry.
No, you're good. No, you're good. So, okay, you started at Citi, then you went over to Chase. What even got you into banking in the first place?
So I went to college for accounting. I didn't graduate. I went to college for a year and a half. So like even in high school, I knew I wanted to do something with finances. I've always been a money's girl. Like I've always like
to the bag. You always knew you was gonna get to the bag.
Right. I've been working since I was 14. My first job I was able to get at a Citibank. At a City Garden. It was like a summer camp. And that was my first job. And from then I fell in love with making my own money. And you got to remember, I'm coming from a mom who she was at 20. She had my brother. She was 24. So, a lot. And me and my mom talk about this a lot. But when you're in a struggling situation and you kind of have more children, so that didn't help our situation become easier. It kind of became worse. She had another child to take care of. So, making my own money, I was able to buy things that I didn't have to ask my mom for, or that she could tell me no. I was able to make my own money, and from that point, it was like planted the seed. I'm like, how can I make more money? And I knew that, was how to make more money, learn how money works. So I always knew that I wanted to do something with finance. Like something with finance was going to be my future regardless. So I wanted to work at a bank for a very long time. I honestly applied to like 3 before I got hired. I was so young, nobody wanted to hire me. I was all because I had just turned 18. Like I applied when I was 17. They were like, no, you have to wait till you're 18. I went back, applied to Wells Fargo when I was 18. They denied me. I applied to some local branch bank, denied me. And everybody's reason was like, you're great, but you have no experience and you're 18. You're too young, you have no experience. So in Citibank, I walked in and I was myself how I always am, and the lady just loved me and she hired me, and that kind of got my foot into the door. So when I went to apply for Chase, it was like, you already have 2 years experience. Come on. So yeah.
Okay, definitely. I want to actually mention something. So a lot of people in life, they're just like, they'll consume information, but they won't actually take action. We got like damn near 100 episodes of my podcast. I know some people listen, they don't take no action. I don't want people to sleep on the fact that you are working at this bank. You're asking people for information. You're not just sleeping on information. You made something out of the information. So can you speak about maybe the trait that made you do all that? Because I know that there has to be some discipline that you carried into your business as well. Like what made you like actually take action?
Like I said, that just regardless, I always knew that I want to make it. And the thing is, we all tell ourselves we want to make it. We want to make it in life. We want to make it in life. But I understood that in order to make it, you got to do something to make it. You just can't say it and it's going to happen. You actually have to do something. You know what I'm saying? So my first step, initially, I didn't even think as big as where I'm at now or even where I'm going. I initially just wanted to be a banker. I was like, I knew I had to get into a bank to become a teller, because you can't be a banker without becoming a teller. So I was like, I need to get in as a teller. That was my real thing. I wanted to be a banker. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to spend these 2 years here, because that was the required time as well. You had to spend at least 2 years before you can be qualified as a banker. So I was like, I'm gonna spend these 2 years here, learn what I need to learn, do what I need to do so that I can qualify as a banker. But working in the bank, and like I said, seeing what I seen, it was like, there's no way I'm servicing people with millions of dollars in their account until I want to be a banker. And then I started to look at what the bankers actually make. I was like, no, I want to be like them. I want to be like the person with these millions of dollars. And and then it's so funny. My clients that I would have people who they wouldn't even go to no other teller but me. Like I was their teller to handle all their needs, and like that's how close I became with my clients. Some of my clients, my older clients, she calls me her mom. She's my mom. That's what she used to tell me, and she took me out to dinner, and she was one of like a very very wealthy lady. Like I would meet people like that, and my personality is so genuine. People just fall in love with me, so they want to see me win. So they would explain and break it down to me. This is what you need to do. This is where you need to be. Yeah, hello. I'm sorry. This is where you need to do. This is what you need to do. And they would tell me all the time, like, you don't belong here. Like, you don't belong behind that teller desk. Like, you're such a big personality. You could be doing so much more. Like, and people, every job I've ever been in, they've always told me that. Every job. They're like, you don't belong here. I swear on my child, every job I've ever been, they're like, you don't belong here. You need to be doing something bigger, something for your own. Like, you letting these people pay you pennies, and you could be making, you know what I'm saying? So, so from them to like just that, all of that, and combined, it was like, this is not where I belong. Like, this is not what I need to be doing. I need to figure out something to be able to make my own income and grow where I don't have no boundaries, no borders. And what actually made me quit City in the first place was I spent the 2 years there, right? As a teller. And when it came time for me to qualify as a banker, my boss she had no reason. She just wouldn't because you have to go see like interview with another manager, but she wouldn't put the recommendation in.
Oh wow. And
I felt like it was about race. I honestly felt like it was about race. There was no black bankers. I was the only black teller, let's be clear.
You probably one of the youngest ones, huh?
One of the youngest, and the only African American one. So I felt like she felt you should just be happy with where you're at. And they used to tell me, I'm telling you, with my job, they told me that there had never, in the years that branch has been open, she had never hired a black African American employee, black man, woman. She had never hired a black lady, so a black woman. So when I walked in, and they were all surprised, and when I got to know my employees, they opened up to me like, yeah. She's never hiked. She's like kind of racist. And honestly, even working with her, I realized she is very racist. Like we would have football players come in, or we would have not even football players. We would have millionaires come in, black men, and she would be like, "Oh, they have to be a football player or a musician." And she would make us do triple like security checks on the client when they walk in. So I realized that she was very racist. And I think she I don't know why. I think she hired me because they had to have some African American inclusion because they had gotten to a point. So after so many years, there was no black employees. They're questioning it, like, what's going on? And their district manager was actually black. So I think she kind of pushed, like, you need to have an African American in here. So I don't think she wanted me in there by like because she loves me. She had to, and I kind of was like, okay, you seem like a cool black person, so we'll take you. So when it came to me becoming a banker, which I wanted to, and I expressed to her when I first in my interview, this is why I'm here. This is what I want to do. She just was like, no, I don't. She just wouldn't tell me what, not let. You haven't been doing a good job, or you need more experience. It was just like, I don't think you're a good fit. And I quit and went to Chase. And then at Chase, I only was at Chase for a year, and it was so funny. Most of that year was during COVID. So I met with clients and stuff. I didn't have a deep as relationship as I did with Citibank. But I was there doing nothing because they would have us come in, do trainings. There's no clients. COVID was going on. But a lot of us were still on salary. So they had to pay us. So they wanted us to work. And it was like, I'm doing this training and I'm not doing anything with my life. Like I felt so like, this is not even what I want to be doing. And like during my trainings, I would be getting certified for the credit. I was taking my credit courses. Like while I was supposed to be doing Chase trainings, I was getting board certified and doing my trainings and doing what I had to do because I knew I wanted to start this business. And once I had all my certifications and stuff, and I had a couple clients flowing in, money was good. Said sayonara. Sayonara.
I feel that. And I really like your story because my listeners know my mentorship is called the CAT Credit Retire Your 9-to-5 mentorship because I went through a similar situation. I worked as a chemical engineer and then I retired at 9-to-5 based off of my credit business. So I want to ask you, like, when did you figure out like, okay, now it's time for me to make the jump? Was it a certain amount of money? Was it just like your back was against the wall? Like, when do you know you're ready?
When did I know? Obviously I was making a decent amount of money. I think I had gotten to a point where I was making like from Chase in 2 weeks, I probably made 1,800 or so. But I had in a week or so made 2,000 to 3,000. I'm like, come on now. Like at this point, I'm just showing up for Chase for fun. It was that, and I knew I wouldn't take the credit business 100%. I wouldn't take it 100% serious until it was the only thing I had to lean on.
Same. Yep.
You know, because like I would be doing it, especially once the money was coming in. It's like, okay, I got money coming in from Chase and money coming in from this. I really could slack over here. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, but I knew how big I wanted to go. Like I didn't want to be working at Chase and still doing this. No, I wanted this to be my 100% solo, and I knew that it could happen because I would be turning clients away, or sometimes I'm scheduled to be at Chase and I can't meet with you at the time you want to meet with me, or you know, different things, and like just I want times I need to be focusing on learning more education about what I want to do. Like, and the type of person I am too, when I'm really all into something, I really don't care about anything else. So it was like, I already was calling out of Chase and it's like, it was like, come on, girl, just make the jump. And I'm telling you, it was a hard jump. It was a hard jump. Because leaving that security of having a check coming in consistently is very scary, which is why most people don't do it. But you will be surprised how your inner hunger kicks in, because the bills are due. You like, I'm either gonna go find some clients, or you know what I'm saying. It kicks in. You're not gonna let it kicked out because you're gonna hustle. You're gonna hustle. So that's what happened for me. Once I did quit, it turned the hustle in me on fire, because I'm like, the bills is coming in and the checks are not. So I have to keep going. I gotta put myself out there, be more proactive, and that's exactly what I did, and that's how I was able to know my money is coming in when it's coming in. I had, I built up about 50 clients, and I was having passive income from all those 50 clients coming in every single month. So definitely, I feel like, it came down to the point where I just felt like if I really want to be serious in this business, I have to jump 2 feet in. So that's why I think helped.
Okay, most definitely. So I want to transition and talk about the Airbnb in a little bit, but I know some people that's listening, they want to start their own credit business and things like that. So one question I have for you is, how did you build up to 50 or however many clients? Maybe how did you get your first round of clients?
So this is the thing. I'm big on social media, Instagram, and I'm a big personality follower, and I've had my Instagram page since I was about 14. I've had the same Instagram page forever. So a lot of my followers, they watched me grow. They've watched my, these are not people who just follow me because I think I'm cute. These are people who've known me since I've been a kid, and they watch my growth. They see me work at a pizzeria. They see me go to this. They see me do that. And from working in the bank, a lot of my followers just knew that, I feel like when people see you at a bank, they automatically think finance. You know all about the finance. You know all about money because you're at a bank. So, that was already on my thing. And like I said, the type of person I am, I've always been a public speaker, or just like on my platform, I speak about financial education or how important it is to be financially stable. And I've been this way my whole life. I've been this way since I was working at the bank, and so when I started to repair my own credit, or like just work on my own credit, I would post about it. Like, guys, look where I got my credit score today. Oh my God, I can help you guys. Or I would like, who wants to, let me look at your credit, and like, just overviewing and stuff. So I was already planting the seeds before I started my business. So when I did start my business, it wasn't new to my client, my followers or anything. It was like, girl, we knew you was about to do this, and I speak on everything. I try to speak, like, when I know something is about to happen, I speak on it. Just to planting seeds is very important. So I started to speak on it more and more and more. So once I launched my business, I booked 12 clients that first day because I already had been speaking on it. My people, I was building up the hype. Like, y'all, the credit website is launching this day. You be ready, you guys. Book your consultations, free consultations for everybody. Like, it was just planting the seeds. And part of me becoming board certified, I really wanted to know what I was talking about. So when I got on these calls with these clients, everything I was saying makes sense. It was like, we want to book with you. And then just the type of person I am, I'm a very, you want to book with me. I'm a cool person. So honestly, for me personally, it was not very hard to get my first couple of clients because I had already been in that momentum, so it wasn't that hard for me.
Okay. So would you say like documentation, the personality, things like that is probably going to drive the business?
I definitely would say planting seeds, as far as like just speaking about it, just talking about it, because I'm from a small town, so some people see what you're doing, they want to do it too. I've had girls who they bartender, and you see what I do, and now you over here, hey guys, I can fix your credit. It doesn't click. And I'm not saying that you can't be a bartender one day and then fix credit the other day, but the part of this business that we're in, you have to be authentic, and people have to take you seriously, because there's a bunch of scammers out here who tell you they can fix credit, or they could do this for you, or they could do that for you. So a part of our business is having people who trust us and trust our word. So if you are on OnlyFans today telling people to come click the link and like the bio, and next day telling you want to fix your credit, it's not going to seem authentic to your followers. So I'm being honest. You know what I'm saying? You click link in your bio, like now my credit. I thought you wanted to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you have to be authentic with your followers, or whoever you're trying to market to. It has to seem real. So if that's the case, I would say take a couple months off and just plant those seeds so that when you do pop out saying, hey guys, I want to fix your credit, book with me, it doesn't seem like, girl, where did this come from? You know? So that's definitely one of the things that I would say.
Okay, definitely. So I want to transition to talk about Airbnb because you're going crazy in Airbnb, obviously. So you said you built up your good enough cash from the credit business and you transitioned that into Airbnb. So let's talk about getting your first property because I know it probably maybe it's the most interesting. So let's talk about it.
Because it was the most scary. The other two were light breeze. I already knew what to expect. The property was definitely okay. So let me explain to you how it happened. So I was about 7 months pregnant, and my boyfriend, he's like, "You got to get into Airbnb properties," and I'm like, "Boy, you crazy!" Like, I had just opened up a little clothing business because I do also have a clothing business for my daughter.
Oh wow!
Shopping tomorrow. Anybody watching have any kids? Shop the A More collection. So I was 7 months pregnant. I had just dropped that line, and then I still have my credit business, my main source of income. So I'm working with clients, and he's talking about Airbnb, and I'm like, boy, like I have all this going on, and you talking about some Airbnb. I'm about to have a baby. I can't do no Airbnb. And I told him I was like, maybe in like 5 years or so, and then maybe I'll get into it. So that conversation, and then I think I was like just on social media one day. And I've seen somebody that I know do it. And like I told you, I come from a small town. Not many people do stuff. So if somebody's doing something, it's like, it can't be that hard. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, I feel it.
It can't be that hard. Like, it can't be that hard. And for me, I've done things that a lot of people have not done, or just things that I know that are out of the norm. So this can't be something I cannot get into. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, it helped for me to see somebody from my neighborhood or somebody from where I'm from do it, because it was like, okay, like, gave me that, okay, let me see what this is about. Because before then I had not even looked Airbnb's way, because I assumed you needed all these thousands and thousands of dollars to get started and all this stuff. So I hadn't even looked that direction. I wasn't even paying attention, like whatever. But seeing it, I'm let me look into this. And I'm a course girl. Like if something I don't know, I'm gonna take a course on it and then try to expand on that information. So I took a course. The course was not the greatest. It was not the greatest, but it gave me bits and
pieces. Whose course was it? Shout them out. No.
You know what? I will shout them out only because.
Why?
Only because I get so many of this person's clients, and they all express the same thing. And I tell them, like, why don't y'all say something? And they'll be like, well, when we go on her live, she like just ignores us, or she like eats the comments and doesn't say what most Instagram influencers do. And before I say the name, I want to say I'm not bashing at all. I'm just giving advice, or because you are running a business, and these are your clients' actual thoughts after they take your course. Like, they may not express you, which most people won't express to you how they truly feel. But what I will say is I do love her for the fact of the information that she gives. And sometimes it comes both ways, because sometimes the consumer who's taking the course, they don't understand that, yes, these are the steps, but there are things you do have to put your foot down. You can't just take an ebook course and think that everything's going to be laid out for you. Like, yes, there are some things you are going to have to, work for it and towards. But what I will say is, in the courses that she gives out, a lot of it is like misinformation. So she'll tell you something, but not the second part, or this and not that. So it leaves you
get more money.
Right, spending more money, which is a business strategy, right? That's why I tell my clients, they come to me and they'll be like, oh, right. And I'm like, at the end of the day, she's a businesswoman. It's not how I do business. I like to work off of genuine connections, because that's worked the best for me. And I don't have billions of followers to even play like that anyway. Like my little 2,000-3,000 followers, I can't mess with them. So, for some people, they have that large following, they can play with you because you're just one of many. But that person is Ellie. You ever heard of Ellie?
No.
You've never heard of Ellie?
Ellie who?
Ellie Talks Money.
Oh, I think I know the name. Yeah. Okay.
Ellie Talks Money. Have you ever seen her stuff, or like?
I think I've just seen like the handle. Maybe I've seen an interview or something.
Yeah, she does like a lot of she talks about a lot of different money issues, but specifically like she trying to talk about business credit and teaching business owners how to get started and stuff like that. And she's taught me a lot. And the thing is, the type of person I am, I don't take nobody's word for verbatim. I always do my own research and everything like that. And that's why I'm successful when I take anybody's ebook because I'm going to be able to extract information from there and go Google. And, I use all my resources. I don't expect anybody's ebook to teach me everything I need to know. Exactly. So she's taught me stuff because I know the type of person I am. She's given me like many foundations to where I can expand off of that. The problem is a lot of her consumers and customers are not like that. They're expecting that whatever they're buying, the $300 that they're spending is going to give them detail for detail what they're looking for. So I think that's where, people kind of like, that's where she fails with her clients and all that. But I took her course, and for me, it was good because I got the information I needed. And like I said, I took what I didn't get from there and I kind of Googled it. And people don't understand. Google is your telling y'all. Google done taught me so much stuff.
Yeah.
Google has taught me more than any course has ever. Google and YouTube has taught me more. If you can sit down and put point A to B and make sense of that, and that it's going to tell you everything you need to know. So from taking the information that she taught me and then just doing my own information and then trial and error as well, I was able to get started. And I got started very, very quickly. I think I took the course in February and I got my first unit in March.
Oh, nice.
So I moved very quickly. And there was reasons why I moved very quickly. And for example, we get into personal leasing, corporate leasing. Have you ever heard of anything about the Airbnb industry? Or like,
so I had my homie, her name is Precious. I think her handles Airbnb money. So I had her as a guest and, we walked through some of it. So I'm familiar vaguely with some of it, but yeah, you can get into it.
I'm always interested in the type of information other people give out because I didn't see that interview. I'm probably going to watch it after, but I'm always interested because just from what I've seen, anybody who gives out the information, they're not being 100%. They're not being real.
Yeah.
They're not being honest. Like, they're telling you what sounds good. A lot of people tell you what sounds good or what makes it seem enticing. Look, Airbnb ain't giving me a referral fee. So I don't care whether you get started or not. I'm going to tell you the real deal information. That's why I do really good with my Airbnb calls that I do, because I give them the good, the bad, the ugly, the real, the truth, the bad. You know what I'm saying? I break it down for them. A lot of these people who are selling courses, they're just focused on selling a course, and people are stuck feeling like, oh, maybe they're stupid or it's my fault that this is not working for me. No, they just didn't tell you everything you needed to know.
Yeah, no, she definitely walked through like the ugly and bad in the interview as well. Good. I definitely recommend you tap into it as well.
I will. A lot of people don't do that. I love when I see people who are being honest and just being up truth and being honest about it. Come on, it ain't hurting your pockets whether you're honest.
Yeah, definitely. So what was maybe like the biggest struggle you came across with your first property?
Okay, so with my first property, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. It wasn't a very hard thing. It wasn't very. I didn't come up with like. I mean, I have had guests that are like, rude and rowdy and stuff, but just the startup process itself, I move quickly. Like I move quickly, so I didn't have any like hiccups. I knew, like, I planned everything out before I started. I said I just step one, raise the money. I knew that was the first one. Got to get the money. Okay, got the money.
How we get the money? We using cash, we using credit, business.
Oh, my very first property, I did use cash. I did use cash. Yeah, I did use cash mixed with credit. So I do have about a good collection of credit cards. And I liquidated about like maybe 3 of my credit cards, which probably were about maybe $4,000. I liquidated those 3, and then the rest was cash. So I spent about, I want to say about $8,000 in my first unit. So 4 of it was about credit, like my personal credit that I was able to liquidate off my credit cards, and then 4 of it was cash. Do you want me to break down like the detail of the
what was down for the people? Let's break it down for the people. Yeah.
So my first unit is actually in Jersey City. It's in Jersey City, New Jersey. And that unit was $1,780, I believe, when I first got it. The rent has risen. That's why I say when I first got it, and that was only about ago. The rent has risen, but because I also did a short-term lease, so a lot of the time when you do so this is the thing too. You do have 2 options of doing it, doing your lease, and a lot of people are going to tell you, don't take the personal route. Don't take the personal route. No, bad girl. My opinion on it is, if it's the only route you can take, and because the thing is, they don't tell you it's about the corporate route, is it requires documentation. If you're just starting out, you can't just get an LLC today and get an apartment tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
So my very first unit I did get in my personal name, And that unit, like I said, was $1,780 to start. Because it was in my personal name, I didn't have to do all of the corporate fees, because when you do a corporate lease, you do have corporate fees. My last 2 properties are under my corporate lease, so
Gotcha.
it was a much more annoying process. That's why I said my first property was a breeze.
Yeah.
Breeze.
Yeah.
So my other 2 are under corporate, so there were more corporate fees and stuff.
Mm.
But with my first property, the rent was about $1,780. My security deposit was very low. A lot of the time when you apply to luxury units and you have good credit, you don't have to pay like a security and a half deposit of rent. I don't know if that's for everywhere, but even in New Jersey, like I said, I live in Charlotte now. My apartment here was the same thing. If you have good credit, you only required to put down about $700 to $1,000, no matter what the rent is. If the rent is $5,000, you're still only required to put down $500 to $1,000 if you have a decent credit score. So with my unit, I had a decent credit score. So
what's a decent credit score?
I would say 650 or higher.
Okay, 650 or higher.
I've asked them that too. Like, what is that? I told you I ask questions. I always ask questions.
Yeah.
Why I'm able to give actual genuine responses and answers, because I'm not thinking it. Like 650. That's what they told me. 650 or higher is a decent credit score.
Okay.
And if you're applying to like most likely buildings and stuff like that, or apartment luxury complexes, you only required to put down $700 to $1,000. Best credit, $700. Lower it goes, $1,000. So for my first unit, I only had to put down $700, like the holding fee. So $700, $1,780. That secured my unit.
Okay.
That's unit. Then from there, it was decorations. That's where I spent most of the money on, and that was very foolish of me. I learned in my second and third property, but I spent a lot on furniture and designing the unit how I wanted it. I ordered everything off of Amazon. And honestly, that's where most of the money went to. But that was pretty much it. Then my light bill, I didn't have to pay until the very next month, so that was deducted those fees. So, I didn't really spend a lot getting that unit up. My second and third unit that I did under a corporate lease, those were a little bit more expensive to get up. Those were a little bit more expensive to get up because when we get into those corporate leases.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So the thing with the corporate leases is, for one, when you get a corporate lease, in the lease, it states that you're not going to be the one staying in the apartment. So automatically it makes you a liability. So now that you're a liability, you automatically have to put more money down on the apartment for the security deposit. Pull $700 to $1,000 out the window. Now you're a liability to the apartment. You actually have to put down about 1.5 times whatever the rent is for the security deposit. So first unit was my second unit, the rent on that unit was $2,425, and that was a studio. It was like a loft studio, so it had the downstairs, and then it was some spiral stairs that go up to the upstairs, and it's
okay, nice.
Yeah, it's nice and fancy. It's cute. So $400, $24, and then I had to put down 1.5 times the rent. Which was about like $1,450. So I put that down. And then honestly, that second unit I think was the most expensive to get up. But the cool thing about my second unit was I was able to get business funding for that unit. I applied and I was able to get $50,000 in business funding actually. So that funded my second and third unit.
Okay, was this PG or no PG?
I say PG. I say PG. I definitely say PG. And honestly, in my experience, you have loans that are no PG, but a lot of the loans, when you're talking big money, you're trying to apply for a lot of money, they want to check your credit.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, okay.
Credit. So yeah, definitely. And I've gotten some loans like 5,000 no PG, but when big loans, they want to check your credit. They got to see what you do on your personal side. So it was PG. But the cool thing was I was very strategic about the loan, because one, it was a short loan. It was a short loan. A lot of like business loans, they're very short. So this one it wasn't a bank loan either. So it was a short loan as far as like weekly payments. So I was thinking about it, like how, because once you get the loan, they ain't waiting for you to get your Airbnb unit up. Money,
they want their money. Yeah.
Imagine, I think on a $50,000 loan, my loan payments were almost like $2,000 a week. So I'm like, money has to be flowing in.
Yeah.
So what I did was I took the loan and I estimated about exactly how much I wanted to spend on each unit. Once I decided, because there was no early prepayment, like penalties or anything like that if you prepay the loan earlier. So I decided exactly how much I wanted to spend on the units. I told myself I was going to spend $24,000 between both units. I ended up spending about like 30, but whatever I did, and I made sure that I did not touch the money.
Gotcha.
Like, it's very important when you take on these big loans, you're strategic on what you're doing with the money, because yes, it sounds good, $50,000, but like I said, within the first week, they're calling for their money. They're and it was ACA, a direct deposit, automatic payment withdrawal.
Oh yeah.
So that adds up quickly every week if you're not having money coming in replacing those funds, right?
Yeah, fact.
It takes a good 2 weeks to get your unit together between signing the papers, getting the furniture and all that. So that first 2 weeks is kind of not even counted for it. That's just money that you're just kind of giving back to them. So what I did was, so once I got the loan, I took the half that I wasn't going to spend. I knew that I wasn't going to spend. I was like, I'm not going to spend this whole 50. I'm going to take about maybe 30 or so. And my reason for even, because some people ask, why did you take the whole 50 if you knew you weren't going to use the whole 50? But business relationships are important. I took $50,000 from them. I paid them back $50,000, and I go to get another loan. They're going to automatically be willing to give me maybe 75, 100. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So that's why I took the whole 50, for those who probably are wondering, like, oh. So with the other money that I did not use, I kept in a savings account. And while the unit was getting up, I let that money, from that money that I wasn't touching, just go. And I made sure I was like 2 weeks. That's it, 2 weeks. And I got the units done, both of them, in 1 week. And once I spent all I needed to spend, I paid the money back. That money that I had in the savings. And I'm telling you, you have to be disciplined, because most people wouldn't do that. Most people be like, well, you gave it back. Yes, but it's all about bigger dreams, bigger goals. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's 50, but I want to go back for 75. I want to build a great relationship with them. So once I gave them back that money, I only had to work down the money that I actually spent.
Yeah.
Which was about $28,000, I believe I actually spent. And I paid them that back within the first 2.5, 3 months having the units on Airbnb. And I paid that back. Now all the money I'm making back is pretty much profit. It's just profit. I didn't have to spend my own money out of pocket necessarily to do this, you know? And that's how I was able to scale so quickly, because I got my first unit, like I said, in March. The other two I got in May, both of them same month, May.
Okay. Well, how about the third one?
So the first one was in February, and then the next two were both in May.
Oh, both were in May. Okay.
I signed at least 3 days apart.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah. No, you was going crazy for sure.
I was like, look, I got the money and I gotta go. I knew I had to that money. They was calling every week coming out my account. I was like, I gotta go. So I put my mind to it, and I'm like, I gotta do this. I found my 2 units. They accepted the corporate leases. They were good. I was like, okay, this is what I gotta do. This is what's happening. I'm telling you, and the cool thing was, they were actually 3 minutes apart.
Oh wow.
They were 3 minutes apart. So I would be driving from one property down to the other one, putting couches there, meeting the cable guy up here. Like, it was a crazy week. It was a crazy week, but it was very thriving for me. I was like, yes, I run off of adrenaline. So it was amazing. And when they were both done and I was making the money from it, I was just ecstatic. So
dope. Hey man, you said 5 years. We gotta thank your boyfriend for telling you to, you know what I'm saying?
I know, right? I said 5 years, and I'm like, and my baby, she was only a couple months, and I'm doing it. So I was like, working.
Yeah. Okay.
She was at the properties with us in her stroller. I'm putting them together.
Oh man. That's crazy. No, that's definitely amazing. So obviously, you got into it, you saw someone in your hometown doing it. Would you say, like, was that the main reason why you got into it, or where else would you see yourself leveraging your credit?
Well, the thing is, my personal credit, I wouldn't even have thought that big with, even at the time, because the thing is with personal credit and business credit, it's 2 different time spans. Like, I've been building my business for 2.5 years, and I was able to qualify for that loan. I don't even know if I could be now qualify for $50,000 personal loan. Who knows? I haven't tried. But the thing with personal credit, time is acquired.
Of course.
Above all things, people don't understand is you kind of got to let your credit marinate in order to kind of see credible. And I'm 23, so in the eyes of credit, I haven't been building credit very long. So for me, as of right now, I wasn't even thinking about like leveraging my personal credit. Like, I knew I had my credit cards, and that did honestly help me with my very first unit, but I wasn't even thinking as big as no $50,000, $20,000. So not even, I wasn't thinking that. So business credit, I think once I started building business credit is when I started to really think about the things I could do with that money. Because I learned about business credit, and I learned how fast you can build business credit. And, you know, it really is just about building your business credit up and making sure you have some funding coming through your business bank accounts. They're going to qualify you for whatever. And then, you know, and also most of those banks and people who lend out big money, they only look for you to really have your business established for at least 2 years. So opposed to like a personal credit, they're going to want me to have at least a good amount of years built in before I'm qualifying for any big loans. So when I started to learn about business credit, I knew, okay, this is where the money is at, because I could get this quickly and a lot of it. And you know what I'm saying? And I can go back for more. And it's just like, so once I started to learn about business credit, that's when I was like, okay, this is what I can leverage. Like, this is what I'll be able to invest in and things like that. And I wasn't thinking about using my business credit until I got into the Airbnb industry, only because I didn't know what I was doing in life. Like, I didn't know that I was going to end up wanting to do Airbnb or whatever. I just knew that building business credit was a good thing, and I would have money if I'm there, if I'm ready for it, I'm ready to go get it. I'm more than likely going to be eligible to get it because I've been building my business for a good amount of time. I have money, cash flow flowing through my business account, so I knew when I would want to, the money would be there for me to be eligible to qualify for. So, I mean, before Airbnb, I don't think I was even thinking about using it or to do anything, but I knew I wanted to do something.
Yeah, no, I feel that. Okay, so I mean, you stepped into the Airbnb space you didn't expect to, but you know, you in the game, you documented your journey, all of that. What would you say, or what piece of advice would you have for somebody that they got their personal credit right? Maybe they built their business credit as well. They're like, okay, I'm trying to get into Airbnb.
Start. Start. Because that's the real thing. Like,
I feel it.
We could break it down. Just what you gotta do. Save the money, then decide what kind of lease you want to do. Once you get the lease, boom, get the furniture, do this. Like, I could break it down, and you won't start. You could have the 10 grand sitting in your account right now. You won't start. It relies on you. You have to be the one to say, okay, I want to do this. And it's all about risk in life. Like, no risk, no reward. And that's one thing I've learned. All the greatest accomplishments I've made have been based off of me being scared or me being nervous or me like not thinking it's going to work. Those have been the greatest accomplishments that I've ever achieved. The ones that I was just like so hesitant on. So I would say just start. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you have the personal credit built, you have the business credit built. First of all, decide where you want to take your funding from. I would always recommend somebody take from their business funding rather than personal, because you're going to get more. And, you know, the less stuff you have on your personal credit, good. The less stuff you have, the better. Use that business funding for what it is. And take out your business loan. You have your money established. Now go and get your lease. Go get your corporate lease. Go get your lease and start your process on, you know, just start.
I love that you said start, because a lot of times when I'm talking on a podcast, I'm giving them game. When I say something like start, they think I'm being mean or something. Look, if I say something so straightforward, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, definitely, I love that piece of advice.
When they call me, I'll be like, you either gonna love me or hate me at the end of the call, because I'm gonna be that person. Like, everybody, especially in 2022, everybody is so I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. You gotta give it to people raw. Sometimes you gotta give it to them raw, real, because all that tiptoeing nowhere. It's not gonna get them anywhere, but in the same predicament, because they're telling me, oh, don't do it yet. Maybe wait until, or be soft. No, guys, start. If you want to be successful, stop listening to what anybody else is saying, because it ain't them, it's you. You want to be successful, take that first leap. Take a leap of faith on yourself, and you will be surprised where it takes you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I definitely start.
Definitely. So I mean, obviously you got experience doing the Airbnb thing. You say you're a courses girl. Do you have a course for people? Do you have mentorship? What we doing?
Yes. I was gonna say too, actually, I and another thing, I stopped doing Airbnbs. So I stopped doing Airbnbs, and I transitioned all of my properties into short-term rentals and for traveling nurses. And I want to say, like, even if, because a lot of people are not just into the whole Airbnb idea, but they want to have that passive income. Once property, it's your property. You can list it here, list it there. And I took mine down off of the Airbnb platform only because I'm not there. And I just feel my businesses run better when I'm able to be there. I've had so many instances with people just doing stuff that I just need to pull up, and I can't pull up if I'm out here in Charlotte. So I transitioned my units to short-term rental units for traveling nurses, and it creates such a peace of mind for me, because I have a solid tenant in there for however long their lease is. I get my money monthly. I don't have to worry about cleaning the units. every week and laundry and restocking. So if you're thinking about, Airbnb just because you want that passive income, which is most likely the reason nobody doesn't want to go on Airbnb, they want to go, you want that passive income.
Yeah.
Short-term rentals might be an easier process for you to do and smoother because like whatever hiccups I face with Airbnb, you just don't face with the rental industry with the traveling nurses because there is just one tenant per every 6 months or so. And that's been working for me as well. And that's what I've been doing with all 3 of my properties. I have nurses in there now. So if you're thinking about getting into the industry just because you want that passive income, that's another way to enter without even thinking about Airbnb. And honestly, the short-term rental travel nurses, you'll have an easier time getting people who will rent their apartment buildings to you for traveling nurses.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so you just get them some good free sauce. What do they
Yes.
want to work with you? Is there anything people could do or?
Yes,
Okay.
I have a website. I have a whole website in my bio, whether my personal or my business page. My link tree is there, and I have my personal credit consultations where I'll just overview your credit, give you some advice on what you should do next.
Okay.
I have I just introduced this course. Actually, it's a DIY credit restoration course.
Oh, nice.
So for the time of my business, I've always been the one to do it myself for them and stuff. But with that, nobody really learns anything. They don't learn nothing actually.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You don't learn a thing, and 9 times out of 10, you go and mess it up because you don't even know what you did in the first place to mess it up.
Exactly.
So it's a repeat process. So I introduced the DIY credit restoration course. It is way cheaper than me doing it. And on top of that, you kind of get the experience to learn how to repair your own credit. I take you through step by step exactly what I would do if I was repairing your credit, teach you the website, go to everything you need to do to repair your own credit. And with that, not only could you repair your own credit, if you take the knowledge, you can repair somebody else's credit. Definitely. So that course is a investment that you can take a long ways. And that's a DIY course. It's a one-on-one course, me and you on a Zoom call together, and I'm walking you through all of the steps on how to do this yourself. Then I have my VIP all-inclusive course where I will repair your credit for you. Obviously, everything included. That's just me one-on-one doing that with you. I do business coaching calls. If you have a business you want to start and you need some guidance on where you should be starting, what documentation you need to be getting. I work hand in hand with the graphic designer. So we do website buildings and logos and stuff. So when you book with me, you get all discounted off of all of her packages. And she's an awesome graphic designer.
Okay.
Dang, what else? I do everything. My Airbnb one-on-one coaching calls, and those calls I'll take. You get a free PDF that guides you through everything we talked about. But I break down the process for you from the time you start to the time you finish. I break down all the pros and the cons of what, because a lot of people, they'll just tell you not to do a personal lease. I'm going to break it down to you why it might be the best option for you, why it will not. Corporate leases, why that may be the best option for you, why it may not. Also furniture hacks, how to save on your furniture that I learned in my second process, saving on your furniture, how much money you're putting into your furniture, how to find cleaning ladies, everything you need to know, literally from point A to point Z, I'm going to teach you in that Airbnb course. And then, and I do regular just one-on-one mentorship calls as well. So if you have any questions, anything, I'm a people's person, so I can get down to earth and talk to you about anything. So that's what I do. So you can find all of that in the link tree in my bio.
In the link tree in your bio. Okay, we're gonna plug your IG in the description so people can go to that. So the one-on-one calls, is it like a certain amount of calls they get? Like, is it 8 weeks or is it like a lifetime thing? How does it work?
It's a one-time call that you book for one time, an hour long. And one thing about me, I'm not a time girl. So if our call is an hour, but we kicking it, baby, let's talk. That's how I am.
So they can get all the sauce. Okay.
It's probably not good. It's probably not good. I shouldn't be doing that, but I'm just a genuine person. We're in a deep conversation. I'm not going to be like, oh, you got 20 minutes left, hun. You got 20 minutes left. So I'm going to talk to you until you feel fulfilled, because one thing about me, I'm big on building relationships with my clients. I'm not here to just take your money, okay? I'm here to build a relationship, build a genuine connection with you. I want you to feel comfortable coming to me, whatever. I want you to feel comfortable referring your family and friends to me, so I want to build a genuine connection with you. So we're talking on a call. It is an hour call, and we go over our hour. I want you to also feel like you got your money's worth as well. I want you to feel like, this call was so worth it. I'm so glad I paid. And when I have my clients get off of a phone call with me and they're like, I am so glad I spent this money with you today, that is all I want to hear. So our one-on-one calls, we get down to business, and you're going to love me for life after our calls, always.
Okay, I feel that. All right, so I just thought about this question right now. So which business do you prefer? The credit repair or Airbnb, if any.
Airbnb.
Airbnb.
I ain't even gonna lie to you. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Only because, and honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I actually am kind of like gearing out of my credit restoration. I'm actually not gearing out of it completely, but I'm gonna be looking for interns or just people to kind of like I train them on how to do it, and they take over my clients or they take in my new clients. I'll still do my consultations and explain the process and give everybody things they need to know. But I am just surpassed it. I love it. What it is. I love it for what it is, but I'd rather do the DIY ones. Honestly, just me doing it myself. Do you do credit restoration for people?
So we did in the beginning, but I have my assistant that kind of automates it now. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it now. So I'm kind of in the same space where you're at. So that's why when you say you prefer the Airbnb, I feel you. Like it's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah. You got, and the thing is, the people want it go. That's why I say I prefer the DIY, because I love when they can actually understand the time
and they learn. Yeah.
Learn what goes into it, because it's not just I'm drafting up some letters for you and I'm sending them out and that's it. It's not just that. It's time that goes into that. You have to understand that every month something is gonna come off. That's just like nothing. And trying to explain that to somebody and get it through somebody's thick skull is just like
it's crazy.
You guys kind of make the job that I love to do. So you know what I'm saying? And you're dealing with people and their personalities and their emotions. It's a lot more than what it seems. And
yeah, definitely.
I'm not the credit bureaus, y'all. I'm not the one making you wait. Also, and you can say things to them like, "Hey guys, don't spend your credit cards." It just becomes like, what is the point? It's like, what's the point?
I feel you.
So it's definitely, a lot of hard work that goes into that. So I'm either doing what I said, or probably just taking it off as an option completely. I'm actually just like, as we're on the call, I had the interview today. I'm actually gearing into trying to get licensed to sell life insurance policies and 401k.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up.
Because I just got an investment policy for my daughter.
Dope.
Set up 20. She'll have a lot of money set aside for her, and I did one for myself as well, where in 20 years I'll have some money set aside for myself as well. But I just didn't, a lot of the information that I've been learning I didn't know about. And one thing, when I learn new information, I'm just like geek, like
yeah, I feel that.
Offer this on my platform. I want to be able to sell people policies that they can invest in, and you don't have to be an entrepreneur. You could put $50 a month aside, and you're investing money away for yourself in the next 20-30 years for yourself. But I have to get licensed and insured. I have to get certified and stuff like that. So I actually just applied to New York Life.
Okay.
And I went on my second interview today, and I have my third interview coming up. And you have to be licensed through a company, especially when you're first starting out.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get all my license and training through them so that I can add it on my platform as something that I offer to my clients, where I'm able to help you guys set up investment policies for yourself and for your future and for your children, college saving plans for your children. So that's something new that I'm going to be digging into and tapping into. So honestly, I honestly feel like the me doing the credit for people, y'all make it's about to come to an end, y'all. I don't know, it's about to come to an end. And just regardless of the people, it's time consuming. It is time consuming.
It is. Yeah.
The more, like I told you, when I had those 50 clients, it was a crazy mess. Like, you got to think, I'm working home. I have had 2 printers going. It was just like, golly.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. No, I feel
all of that, having all of the clients, and then you got all these clients' emotions. It is a lot. It is a lot. And that's why I see people, they automate it, or they get other people to do it, because it just, for one person, it becomes a lot.
Mm-hmm. That's why I got my assistant doing it, because it's a lot.
And I had my assistant doing it. I tried it out, and she was like, "Iyana, it's too much." I had my assistant doing it, and she's like, "Iyana, it's too much." And I tried to get into the whole automating the whole process. It just didn't work for me. Like, I'm more hands on with it too. So she's like, "This is too much." Like, she's like, "I'm tired of my fingers got paper cuts. I'm tired of this." So I was just like, okay, so I'm back to doing it myself, but I've obviously limited the amount of clients that I take in. I'm not like overwhelmed and stuff. I take a certain amount of clients. When I'm done with those clients, I'll take on new clients. So it's not like I'm taking anybody on. I do credit consultations for any and everybody. I will sit and consult with you and let you know what I think you need to do or what happens, because a lot of the time too, I'll get people who all you gotta do is pay your credit card. They think that is in the gutter and and it'd be like, girl, you got a $500 credit card maxed out over here. You need to pay your credit card down. So so I still consult and do that, but I honestly think that me doing it for people is gonna be coming to an end soon. Not yet, but soon. So get on it like you can, guys.
I feel that. I feel that. For anyone listening to the episode too, this ain't to deter you from doing credit or anything. I think if anything, I think people should just take it as don't take what you can't handle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
don't take on more than the money. When you got that passive income coming in for each client, it's lovely. I loved when the certain amount of money when that month came and all my client invoices. I love, but you gotta weigh your options. You know what I'm saying? What's best for you? And sometimes taking on less clients to keep you steady, because the worst thing you want to do is take on so many clients where you're not able to focus on each client and you're maybe not even able to get the same results for each client. Have so much going on. I would say take it as slow as you can and take it at your own speed and your own pace, because it is a profitable business. And I love doing it. Like I said, it gave me the money to be able to quit my 9 to 5, and that takes a lot.
Yeah,
it's definitely something that's going to bring income in. And if it's something that you want to do, even as a side hustle, it is something great to get into. Just as big as you want to go, be prepared for that.
Definitely. And I like that you mentioned the life insurance thing, because that's going to transition me into the next question, and we're going to be wrapping up in a little bit.
Okay, I'm here for this. I'm loving it. Keep me all night.
All right. So in the next 5 years, I know before you said, Airbnb in 5 years, we kicked that out the water. We already do Airbnb. So in the next 5 years, where do you see yourself as far as maybe business, everything going on?
Question. That's such a good question, because if you would have asked me 5 years ago where I wanted to be, honestly, I would tell you exactly where I'm at. And that's so scary, because I'm like, if I'm in a place where I really want to be in the next 5 years, I'm so confident now. I know I can be there because of where I'm at right now. Like, I've moved away from my hometown. 99% of people don't move away from my hometown. Everybody didn't have their kids, grandkids in my hometown. So like just me even moving away and having 3 properties and having a business bringing in so much money. Like 5 years ago, where was I at 5 years ago? 23, no, I was 18 and 20, 5 years ago, and I was working. That's when I would have my first job at the bank. And it's so funny. I've never even reflected like that, because like me working at the bank, whether I knew what my future was going to entitle, I just knew like I wanted to be making good money, and I knew I wanted to be some sort of successful or some sort of comfortability where I had my own everything. Like I always told myself, when I'm 21, I'm gonna have my own car, my own apartment, my own everything. And I did that. And that's so like, because it lets me know, like, no matter what age you are, don't let nobody deter you. Like I said, at 18, I started my credit journey. I was like, I knew what I want to do. When you know what you want to do and you're so focused, you're going to get there. So for me, I said by 30, I want to be a millionaire. I said by 30, and that's my goal by 30. In 5 years, I'll be almost 30. I'll be 27. So I want to be on my way there.
Okay.
And I feel it so close. I feel it happening. Like, I feel like the things I'm doing, the seeds that I'm planting, I'm gonna make it there. I'm gonna be there. So I definitely think, and getting into the life insurance and stuff, and just being able to do that, I think it's a whole nother realm of the financial world that I haven't even tapped into yet. And I learn about that, I think the game's over, because I feel like that's what all I'm missing is the investment side. I know how to make the money and stuff, but knowing where to put the money, to keep the money, is what I am now learning in life. Every step in life, it comes with lessons and stuff. And that's why I always say, like, the money that I make now, if I was making 5 years ago, I wouldn't have known what to do with it. I probably would have spent it on this, that, and the third. But that's why I wasn't making it 5 years ago. It wasn't my time. And that's why I'm a millionaire yet, because it's not my time. I don't even know where to invest that money, or I could tell you was doing a couple thousand, but $1 million, I really don't know what to do with all that money, if I'm honest. So, and that's why I say everybody has a time and a place. Like, don't look at my story and be like, oh, I wish I was there, because you're probably not ready to be here. Or I'm not going to look at somebody else's story who's doing way more than me and saying, damn, I wish I was there, because I'm probably not ready. Everything has a time and a place. And me stepping into this world of financial literacy, when I'm learning more in depth, beyond credit, and just learning where to put the money, because I feel like I got how to make it down pat, but where to put the money, how to invest the money, how to keep the money flowing beyond generations for my children's children. That is what I'm stepping into now. And I feel like that's the last step, so that when I'm making all this money, I know exactly what to do with it. I know exactly where to place it. I know exactly how to triple it, So I think I'm on the right track. And in 5 years, I'm gonna be shooting the stars. We're gonna do another interview in 5 years, and
Yeah. I got you. We're gonna revisit this.
we gonna
I got
revisit this
you.
in 5 years.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. No. Okay, dope. So last few questions. Just gonna go through some quick questions and just
Yeah.
see how you feel about them. So
Yeah.
number one, what do you do for fun when you're not, you're not going crazy with Airbnbs, a credit business, all that? What do Iyana be doing?
Iyana, it's so funny because my life revolves around my business and stuff, and that's fun to me.
Okay.
I sound crazy, right? That's fun to me.
No, it ain't. Yeah, that's fine.
Making money is fun to me, and I'm so determined. Like, and I mean, I could sound cliche, but I really don't party. I really don't go out. I really don't do a lot of the things that 23-year-olds are doing at my age. Honestly, I'm not, and I'm a mom too at 23. So I'm really not doing everything that everybody else is doing. So for me, my version of fun is a lot different than what anybody else. I think, like I love looking up new stuff for my daughter's clothing collection. I love learning new things and looking at new properties, and like really that's the stuff that's fun for me, and that's really what's gotten me so far, because that stuff is fun for me. Had I found clubbing and all that fun, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at. But my fun is investing in myself and learning new things and learning how to do this, that, and the third. If I'm being honest, I'm being truthful, that's where I find fun in. So what I do is like fun for me.
Definitely, I'm mad at that. That's a good answer. All right, what would you say is your favorite financial resource, if you have any? Maybe whether for credit, Airbnbs, you can interpret it however you want. I mean, you mentioned YouTube, Google earlier.
YouTube and Google, and I would say Instagram. The thing is with Instagram, like it's cool to get like I said, like Instagram will give me a snippet of a reel or something where somebody's talking something, and it'll make me want to go to Google and research it more. Honestly, like I'm not the type of person, I'm not gonna go on. I mean, I might go to their page, see what they're talking about, but I'm gonna take that information and go put it in Google and YouTube to get deeper knowledge on what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely YouTube and Google are mine. I'm going on Google. What does mean? What that mean, Google?
Yeah.
I'm definitely that girl. So YouTube and Google is definitely my number one financial resources. Like I learned a ton of information, free information from Google and YouTube. Like, I mean, honestly, now from what I know, I would tell people, go to Google and YouTube before you book a course with somebody. Shit, we'll go to Google and YouTube before you book a course with me. Because honestly, like it's free knowledge. The difference between me and Google though, because I put that out there, I don't want y'all to go to Google. The difference between me and Google is I'm gonna give it to you on a one-on-one level, okay?
Yeah, definitely.
YouTube, you're gonna kind of have to read and read between the lines almost, and if you're not that type of a person and you need somebody to one-on-one break it down to you, this is how you do that, that's where I come and play. But if you're somebody who's able to read between the lines and kind of just put information together, Google and YouTube, hands down. Yeah.
Okay, dope. Okay, the last question before we transition to like the last question. If you could change one thing about the Black community when it comes to like finances, what would it be and why?
I was just having this conversation yesterday.
Really? Let's talk about it.
I was just having this conversation, and I don't even know why you got me started, because it sucks. It really sucks. Like the amount of knowledge that we don't know is like it sucks. Like I'm sorry because as I learn more and more, and I become financially educated, and then I talk to my peers or I talk to my family members or just different African American people that I know, and they are oblivious to anything that I'm talking about. And sometimes it sucks because I don't have anybody to relate to. Like, when I want to talk finances or I want to talk business, like I can't call my homegirl up and be like, girl, like, let me tell you about this new savings investment account I learned about. And it's like everybody want to be rich, and everybody want to be rich. Everybody want to be rich. Everybody wants to be rich, but nobody has a plan on how they're going to get there. Nobody knows what steps they're going to take, and sometimes I feel like it's ignorance, and I play both sides. I say play both sides because it's one thing that we haven't been taught. One thing that we've not been taught. Like, I've never been taught. And the reason I can't blame my mom, she's never been taught. Her mom never been taught. So I say that it's not our fault in that sense, but it becomes our fault when you become an adult of age and you're able, and the knowledge is out there and you're able to obtain it, and you kind of just, because you don't know it, you don't care to find out, or you don't care to learn. And then we say, oh well, it's the people's fault that they didn't teach it to us. But at some point, you decide to go to college. We all decided to go to college. You decide to take that step of furthering your education. But why not further your financial education? Take the steps to learn what things you can do to become financially stable or become that rich person that you want to be, because it's not going to fall from the sky, and it damn sure ain't going to come from the 9 to 5. I'm going to tell you that now. It ain't. Okay. So the only way to become in charge of your financial life is becoming in charge of your financial life and stop blaming other people. And it's like, I got into a conversation with somebody about this because like I love to play devil's advocate. I love to play devil's advocate because, you know, the person I was talking to, they're like, oh, but our ancestors stole this from us, which is true. But ain't nothing stolen from you right now. Like, this is a free country, 2022 America. Anything you want to know, it's at your fingertips. So what have you Googled recently to learn about saving? What have you Googled recently to learn about building your credit? You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing is stopping you. Google ain't stopping you from typing in because you're Black. We passed those times. So at some point, we have to take the accountability as for why we don't learn, why we don't want to learn, why we don't want to learn, you know, or why we don't want to be where we say we want to be.
Exactly.
That's my take on it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I like that. And at the end of the day, you said in the beginning of the interview, you worked at these banks, you got information, you took bits and pieces, took action. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day,
talk to me. I put myself out there. Like, none of these people, banks, none of these customers are walking in like, let me tell you about my financial life and tell you how to get there. No, I asked questions. I knew that I'm not financially educated, and I have no problem with making that clear to these people. Like, I don't know. Can you explain to me? Can you help me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes by just opening your mouth, you will be surprised doors that open for you.
Yeah,
you know. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So that accountability, like you said, is really, really huge. Me personally, I had to take accountability. I invested in different courses. I got the information I got. The information you're putting out, the information I'm putting out. There's no excuses why people shouldn't,
get to what I'm saying? Level.
So,
you know what I'm saying? There's no excuses. And like you said, a bunch of people will watch this course and not too many people. It might not inspire some people, or it may inspire some people, but then some people will just watch it and take it for what it is and still go back and do what they're doing. They're like, that was cute. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then that's your reasoning, and that's your reasoning. You know what I'm saying? If you ask somebody where they want to be in 5 years and they tell you, and then what are your plans to get there? What are you going to do to get there? Like, what's your first step? I don't know. So how are you going to get
there? Man. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right, final question before we wrap it up.
Oh.
If you could give, you said, go ahead.
I'm having fun. I live for this. I don't get to talk to people like this. I'm telling you, like, a lot of people, I don't hang in circles where I talk to people, and that's why I love podcasts. I watch podcasts all day on YouTube. My way from in the house, and we watch podcasts. I live for this, so I'm having fun.
Definitely appreciate it. We appreciate your time. Final question, if you can give the listeners, it could be about Airbnb, it could be about credit, but just like a final gem that you want to leave us with.
Okay. I want to say, I want to end it on Airbnb, because Airbnb is one of the many steps to becoming financially free or doing your own thing. But it all starts with your credit. It all starts with your credit. And that is a super, super important thing. Like, whether you want to invest, whether you want to buy a house, even get an apartment, like, a lot of the nice things we want to do, get nice cars and stuff, rely on our credit. And it's like, it's something in our common knowledge. We know that everything I want to do in life replies on my credit. And a lot of the time we don't care until it's that time to get that car, get that apartment, get that house. And it's like, I'm scrambling to see what I could do. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the time, before you even try to work on fixing your credit, just learn about credit. Like, open up a book, open up Google, go to YouTube, learn the basics of credit. Learn the because you will be surprised. It's really not hard to maintain your credit and keep up with your credit. It's just in our mind, we've been taught that credit is a bad thing, stay away from credit and stuff, and that's another thing within our Black community. Like, I've had so many people, they're like, my mom and my family, they always told me, like, stay away from credit. What?
Yeah.
And that's true. Like, they tell you, like, that credit is a bad thing. Credit gets you in debt. No, you get yourself in debt. Right. We have to hold ourselves accountable. Credit doesn't put you in debt. You put yourself in debt. You get that credit card, you max it out, you think that you just got free money and you never have to pay it back. That's not credit's fault. That's your fault. So I want whoever is listening to take the accountability, take that first word, accountability, take the accountability and learn about your credit. Learn about what you can do to repair your credit. Learn what you can do to build your credit. My teenagers, if you have children, please, even if you couldn't get it right and if you feel like it's too late for you, if you have children, when they turn 18, they can start. And, I always say it's easier to build credit than it is to repair, always. So if you can get your children on the right foot and get them started on the right path from the time they're 18, do that. You know what I'm saying? Or and you know, learn about it so that you can teach them. Because even if it's not about what you don't know, it's about what you want to know and what you're going to learn. You know, any knowledge you obtain, you're able to pass down to the next person across the street, your child, you're this person, that person. Be that person for somebody in your life. You know what I'm saying? Be that person for yourself. You know, take the accountability to learn whatever there is that you don't know. Whatever you don't know, learn. I'm till this day trying to learn things that I don't know. Because there's so much that we don't know. And these are the things that are going to make us rich. These are the things, you know what I'm saying, that are going to keep the money flowing in, the things you don't know. So that's what I would say.
There y'all have it. We appreciate you. Iyana, can you tell the people how we can find you?
Yes, guys. So you can find me on my Instagram. So my business Instagram account is the success shop _, the success shop. Okay, it's called the Success Shop because everything you do, and we're going to be successful. Okay, we are the shop of successful things. Okay, and then my personal Instagram is c.e.o _Yana, CEO Yana. And you guys can follow me on both pages. And I'm so excited about meeting any new followers that you know that I meet from here because I don't know any of your followers. So you know, I'm excited to meet you guys.
I definitely appreciate it. With that being said, y'all have a blessed one.
Have a blessed night, guys.